Young Voices, a program to showcase the wonderful endeavor between Miami-Dade College and Miami-Dade County Public Schools, the Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition. I'm your host, Kristen Rosen-Gonzalez, a speech and communications professor from the Kendall campus. And I'm here today with Carlton Daly, the Director of Student Services and a member of the Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition. Hi, Carlton.
Kristen, thank you very much for having me. I'm so happy that Miami-Dade College and Miami-Dade County Public Schools have joined in this celebration of voices of our young people. The Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition has been going on for about 37 years. It started back in 1976 with a teacher at Booker T. Washington High School, Miss Nancy Dawkins, and it's very funny how the program has evolved over the years. It started initially purely as an inter-classroom competition. Over the years, it's evolved to be a competition among schools, and now right here for the year 2013, we actually have 302 students signed up for the competition, for as far south as Redland Elementary to as far north as American High School.
Well, tell us first and foremost, who was Theodore Gibson? Who is this man that the competition is named after?
Theodore Gibson was actually seen or called the Martin Luther King of Miami. He was very integral in the civil rights movement here in Miami. But for our purposes of the Theodore Gibson competition, he actually provided the seed money. He was a member of the Miami Commission, and he provided a teacher at Booker T. Washington High School, Miss Nancy Dawkins, who is the founder of the Gibson competition, $500 to start the competition. And Father Gibson thought that teaching kids to communicate and express themselves through poetry, through prose, through the spoken word, would break down the barriers we had at the competition. We had in the community. So the competition initially started purely as a competition at Booker T. Washington High School. Over the years, it's evolved over to a county-wide competition. So I think Father Gibson, with his dedication to civil rights and equal rights, would be happy to see how it has manifested itself today.
And what year was this in?
It actually started back in 1976, so we're actually in the 37th year of the Gibson competition.
So that was a pretty impressive thing for Reverend Gibson to do at the time, because that was 40 some odd years ago. And can you tell us what the students are talking about in this competition and why it's so important?
Well, the theme of the Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition is African descent, poetry, literature. So the poems that they recite have to come from the African diaspora. It could be African American, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Central American, but the focus has to be African descent theme. But the competition is not limited just to African descent students. We have students of all makes, of all parts of our community who reflect Miami-Dade County.
And is this program Miami-Dade College sponsors in conjunction with Miami-Dade County Public Schools? Can you explain how that came about?
I think it actually shows the best of the collaboration between these two most important organizations in our community, Miami-Dade College and Miami-Dade County Public Schools, because it's a definite collaboration. They provide the students, we provide a lot of support services, and so we work very well together to enhance the name of Father Gibson, but also giving the students a platform to perform and become the best of themselves as they perform in front of groups that may be as small as 100 to our final competition that have maybe close to 1,000 people.
And why is it so important for these students to have access to this competition?
Well, it's about two things. One is giving the student a chance to go outside their barriers and speak, public speaking in front of groups of people. But the other thing is for them to learn a little bit more about Father Gibson and a little bit about literature and poems and prose about the African American experience here in Dade County or here in the wider United States.
And can you tell us about the different age groups? You mentioned something at the beginning, but students can start from kindergarten all the way up to being a senior in high school, or how does that work? Can you explain how it's organized?
Excellent question. The Gibson competition runs from K through 12. So we have a student in kindergarten who participates in our elementary regional competition, or we might have a senior who has to write his or her own piece, who participates in the actual high school competition. Our competition this year is going to be divided in about 5 different settings. There's going to be a regional competition purely for elementary school kids, and as Miami-Dade County Public Schools has changed, we're going to have 3 different elementary regionals. One will be taking place at Hibiscus Elementary, one will take place at Henry Reeves Elementary, and down south at Richmond Middle School. And those are purely elementary competitions. So for elementary schools, I think we have about close to 200 students participating in the competitions. And then later on, about 3 weeks later, here at Miami-Dade College North Campus, we'll have our secondary competition where it involves students in 6th to 12th grade, and they'll be competing in their own competition here. And all have a chance to make it to the big finals on June 5th.
And how many students are competing overall?
This year we have a great number of 302 students, which is really, really great. We have to think about how much work the sponsors and the teachers have to do and the parents to get their kids prepared, because this year we're looking at trying to navigate our students, excuse me, compete in the Gibson competition while they still have to practice for their FCAT and their end of year exams. So it's a great testament to how dedicated the students are and their sponsors and their teachers and their parents are to ensure that the name of Father Gibson lives on.
So 302 students enter the competition. By the time they finally get here to the college for the finals, how many students actually make it to the finals?
Last year, and consistent, we had about 60 to 62 students, and the 60 students who make it to the finals are the best. They are really the best. You are astounded how well they can enunciate, they remember their lines, and how much emotion they put in. So the 60 students who make it to the finals on June 5th here at the North Campus in the Lehman Theater represent perhaps the best of not just Miami-Dade County Public Schools, but the best of Miami-Dade County.
I had the privilege of attending the Theodore Gibson last year, and I remember how shocked and surprised I was at the talent showcased during the competition. And that's the work of many volunteers involved, right? There's a lot of volunteering going on to make this happen. Can you tell us a little bit about who's participating and why from both organizations?
Okay. Very true. There is so many volunteers that we have to be thankful for, starting with the kids, who are actually the star and are product of Young Voices and the Gibson competition, because they're the one who take the time out from their schoolwork and their lives to community to practice, some of them 5 days a week. Then we have their teachers and their sponsors who rehearse with them, help them to choose the poem, help them to go over their lines. Their parents, who are perhaps more supportive than anybody else. And it's very amazing that a lot of times the parents may know the poem or the prose that the students are going to recite better than their kids. But then there's also a Theodore Gibson competition, with people like you and members of the community who help us to raise funds to put on the competition, but also organize the competitions. Many principals who open their schools for the competition, and also members of the Miami-Dade County and Miami-Dade College staff members who serve as judges, as liaisons, to ensure that all the competitions run very smoothly. And remember, everything here is purely volunteer. So nobody's paid to be a member of the Gibson community, but they believe so much in what the Gibson competition represents. And a lot of us here who are members of the company, we really love the kids. Some of us see ourselves as the kids. So we provide our kids an opportunity for them to express themselves and to go outside their usual comfort zone and learn more about themselves and more about literature.
Yeah, no, I really think it is so important at a time when when schools are cutting back in so many areas, to try to keep something like this alive, which is so important and teaches students, African American students especially, that there are so many other ways to be, so many ways to be successful, and speaking out about issues is just so important. Let's see some of our students in action.
Good morning. My name is Bria Robinson. I am a second grade student representing Melrose Elementary. The poem I will be reciting is entitled Black and Intelligent by Mani. Being black and being intelligent can be dead, not physically, but emotionally. Oftentimes I feel like I have to dumb myself down in order to keep from feeling stuck up or miss know-it-all. I often see my black brothers and sisters who end up never amounting to anything, and that's not what I want to be. I'm a young black girl who is happy being her. Happy being educated, happy knowing that with a little bit of hard work, I can achieve the most high. You see, my own kind looks down on me because of this. Because I want to rise above the chaos, and because I want to have a better life. Now let me tell you, I'm already left out because I appear to be too light. But what? Does it matter if my skin's of a butterscotch hue? Am I less of a black person? Am I unworthy of being with my own kind? So you see, I have a way. At first, I wanted to hide behind my ability to shift my swagger and blend in with the quote-unquote black crew. But now I realize that I am no better or no less worthy to call myself black. I am no longer worthy to hide my true self to satisfy someone's ego. I am going to be myself, a young girl who is now able to accept the fact that she is and forever will be Miss Black and Miss Intelligent.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, my name is Class Moore III. I do attend Young Men's Preparatory Academy and I am a senior. And I did create an original piece and it is entitled My Life is at a Standstill. Chained together by metal braces, we were snatched up from our homeland, uprooted by the other man. Forced to take a trip on the ship, but with every chance we got, we said, farewell, my brothers and sisters, and we would take a leave. But we would much rather the sweet sea cradle us asleep than to be conquered by any other man. See, our bodies were stimulated as our minds were neglected, as we were forced to plow the fields of a foreign land. Strategically, they tried to break us. They separated men from women and mothers from children, for they knew through unity we were stronger than any beast they could ever try to tame us to be. But then came a time where we decided we had enough of being treated as dogs and we would unite and break free. So then we took the gun and engraved the names of our children on the bullets and we aimed and blasted towards freedom, exploding towards a civilization unprepared for what was to come. Now without those metal chains, we can walk where we please, talk where we please, create demonstrations broadcasted overseas. But all for what? For our lives to be at a standstill? I mean, my life is at a standstill. My television doesn't work, so I spend most of my time on my laptop, allowing my time to slip away as if it lasted forever. See, my life is at a standstill. As I lay on my bed and allow my thoughts to ramble about simple nothings, pretending to be empty thought, but then again, who am I fooling? See, my life is at a standstill. Physically, no, but my spiritual being is suffocating in this rotten flesh with every single passing second that I simply lie here and do nothing. See, my life is at a standstill as souls are being tortured awaiting my arrival to my senses so that I may be a tool to release them to their destiny. See, my life is at a standstill as those souls are waiting for me to speak a word into the atmosphere to inspire their inner beings to break free from those mental chains that I'm a slave to myself. See, my life is at a standstill until I realize that the dream that I once had, that was once a vision, that started out as an idea will never become a reality until I get up and take action. Thus realizing I am my own dream killer. And by killing my dream, I postpone or even worse, I crush others too. So now I'm a dream killer who probably had the dream to stop hatred, to show more love, to make this world a better place. But because I never got it, this dream can never happen. How much longer will we allow ourselves to be the assassins to our future, not to mention we now carry the burden of incest because our own grandchildren, all because we allowed our lives to be at a standstill. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Carlton, for being here with us today. Is there anything that you would like to add about this year's competition? Would you like to tell us exactly where it's going to be? Repeat it one more time.
Right, I think, and eventually we'll show on the monitors, on the television screen, you'll see all the sites. But our big competition starts off on May 9th, and we'll have 3 sites going on at that time at Richmond Middle School in the south, which is in Richmond Heights, and we in the north we at High-Visos Elementary and at Henry Reeves Elementary in the central region. All the competitions start at 8:30 every day. It's open to the public. You'll see on our screen the times, the dates, addresses for all the competitions. And then on May 29th, that's we're here at the Miami-Dade College North Campus, we'll have the secondary competition. We'll be divided between the 6th and 8th grade, and then 9th to 12th grade. And they'll be competing all at the same time. We have about 105 secondary students competing all at the same time with the right to make it to the finals. What's very interesting about the secondary competition, especially that students in 9th to 12th grade, that they have to write their own work. They have to do original work, which is fascinating. So you get a chance to see what's in the mind of our young people. So they write their own poems. A lot of them are very emotional. Some of them speak about their own experiences.
There's a lot of tears that day.
Exactly. So
I've been there. I cried myself a few.
So a lot of them
times.
talk about very wider things, and it truly reflects the thought of our students. Some of the students may speak about issues that are close to them. In Haiti, some of them might talk about violence here in Dade County, but some of them are also very positive and celebrate life as being a person of African descent. Also, some of this was very funny that some of the students who even aren't of African descent really hone in the message of open access and their involvement or their relationship with there may be their friends or family members who have African descent and celebrate the best of Dade County. So it's really fascinating to see what's in the mind of our young people, and it actually gives you a lot of hope to see that our young people are really in charge of the future and we are in good hands.
Wonderful. Thank you, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Miami-Dade College, 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College is the largest institution of higher education in the United States. With 8 campuses and 7 bachelor degrees, Miami-Dade College has the right education for you. Film, television and digital production, health science, public safety management, supervision and management, education, electronic engineering technology, and nursing. 8 campuses, 7 bachelor degrees. Miami-Dade College, the power of opportunity.
The School for Continuing Education and Professional Development has an outreach center in Aventura. At this center, we offer after-school programs for children to improve their artistic abilities while improving their grades. We also offer programs for seniors that include floral arrangements, jewelry making, arts and crafts, acting, and so much more. For more information or to register, you can visit us online or call 305-936-2585.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Welcome back to Young Voices, a program about the Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition. My name is Kristen. I'm your host, a professor at the Kendall campus in speech and communication. I'm here with Carlton Daly, a committee member from the Theodore Gibson Oratorical Competition Committee. Hi there, Carlton.
Happy to be back.
So tell us, finally, if you had some last information to tell us about the competition, what would it be? What do people need to know?
Well, the first thing you need to do is expect to be blown away by our students. Like I said earlier, we have 5 competitions going on. The first one will start on May 9th at Rees Elementary, at Richmond Middle School, and at Hibiscus Elementary. Then on May 29th here at the North Campus, we'll have our secondary competition for high school and middle school students, start at 8:30 in the morning. And then on June 5th, the finals will be here at the North Miami-Dade College North Campus. We'll see the best of our students. That competition starts promptly at 9 a.m. It'll be in our Lehman Theater.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you at the finals.